Hello. I hope you all are doing well this morning. We are going to talk about, this evening, we are going to talk about some ways that you can manage stress when you are completely overwhelmed. My name is Roxanne Marion, and I am here to talk to you about ways to get through life with multiple sclerosis. So let's start. I read this wonderful article today about managing stress, and I wanted to talk to you about it. But I also want to add some things to it because currently I feel very overwhelmed. I've put a lot on me trying to reach a goal that I feel I've been reaching for a very long time, and I've changed here and changed there trying to get to this goal, and it just seems so out of reach. So I seemed overwhelmed, or I feel overwhelmed. So one thing, hi Anthony, haven't seen you in a while. I'm okay. I'm okay, although I have been overwhelmed. So, one way to handle being overwhelmed, way to manage that stress. This one is mine and does not come from the article. Turn off the noise around you. Hey, Emilio. How do you guys feel about that? Turning off the noise around you. And when I say turn off the noise, I'm talking about the TV, the radio. If you have kids around you, put them down for a nap or send them with their parents. I have realized that having so much noise going only adds to my stress. Eventually I get to the point where I'm like, okay, just quiet, and I turn off the TV or I turn off the radio. And I say radio, my phone is usually the thing playing, but I turn that off. And eventually, to be completely honest with you, I will go on do not disturb on my phone because so many calls come in. And usually when I'm trying to walk away and do something that I need done, and the phone just wants to ring, and I'm like, people, can you stop calling me? Possibly they cannot, but I can turn the phone off. Can turn it off or I can turn it down. And if it's really important, they can leave me a message. So, as I said, turning off the noise that is around you will help a great deal. In fact, when I start to do this live, I turned, of course, I muted the TV and paused it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that feels so wonderful. It's quiet. Sometimes we don't think about the amount of noise that we're allowing into our lives, but can you imagine the clarity of thought you'll get when nothing else is on? Because I had that today. I shut off everything. In fact, I don't even think I started anything when I woke up. And I just got all this information to that I needed to keep and add to my life. And I started journaling and writing, and it did a lot for me. So number 2 is from the article. It's listen to your mind and body and allow yourself to slow down. I think that's one thing that we probably overlook but can be grateful for when it comes to multiple sclerosis. I always say I believe I ended up with multiple sclerosis because it was God's way of telling me to slow down. I was fast at everything. I walked fast, I drove fast, I went through my day fast. In fact, I am the one who would show up at any place and not know how I got there because I take the same path and I would go about everything just completely the same way because I want to quickly get things done. So I can quickly get things done if I do it the same way I've always done it. And I would rush everything. I used to be a teacher and I used to also be an advisor at Job Corps. And when I would walk down the hall, you just hear click, 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 because my heels were just clicking. But I was walking so fast. And people would make fun of me because my ponytail was just going back and forth so fast. What are we in such a hurry for? Sometimes, if we just slow down and listen to our mind and our body, it'll let us know what really needs to be done and what's really important. Because sometimes we're rushing through life and we're not thinking about what's important. We're thinking about what needs to be done, what needs to be finished. What do I have to get to? Sometimes that thing that you feel like you have to get to isn't the priority of the day. Number two, I just talked about this a second ago. Journal and write down what is going on. It was a big relief today as I didn't have anyone to talk to, didn't really think I should tell anybody about the situation that's going on, but I needed to get it out. So I started in my journal, Dear God, and I told him all about it. And I was just flustered and overwhelmed in tears. So I can't imagine what my body was really truly going through because I was holding it all inside. And I didn't want to face what I was feeling. So as I was overwhelmed, and because this is managing stress when you're overwhelmed, I was overwhelmed and I was crying, and things just start coming out of my head and my mumbling to God, my prayer. And I start writing it down because I needed to know what was really bothering me. And journaling is a way to get that out of you. Journaling is a way that you are actually accepting the fact that something is going on and you need to get it out in order to see it or deal with it. Because we carry around a great deal of things. We'll carry it around for weeks, for months, and not even think about it. In fact, I have my journal right here, and I can honestly say that I was doing really good at the beginning of the year. I was doing really good at getting into this journal and writing every single day. But as the year has gone on, we're only on the fourth month. There have been these long days in between, and I don't know what has happened on those days, but I can imagine, or I know that I've left the journal wherever because, well, my day has to start and I have to go really fast. I don't have time for it. So I have to get to the next thing. And what I've been working on and my goals have not taken off as quickly as I would like them to. So I have to get to that. There are so many things that seem so important, and all we need to do is sit down and take time to write and to journal and to get it off of our chest. And maybe if we get rid of that, we'll have time to handle that very thing that is stressing us out. Um, in this article, she did write about, and I say she, and I'm sure I'll see it at the end, But she said that she would start with what is stressing me out right now when she's writing. Why am I feeling stressed? And what do I like? What do I feel like I need right now? I wanted to say what I felt like I needed was a friend. Aha. And I have some. I talked to them last night. Hi, Laura. It's nice to see you. We're talking about managing stress when you're overwhelmed. And we know that MS in and of itself can be overwhelming. So we talked about journaling, listening to your mind and body and allowing yourself to slow down. And I said to cut off the noise. Cut off the noise, whether it be TV, music, whatever it is. Sit in silence. Just listen to your body and your mind. And this next one says to allow yourself to release your emotions. Now, I have two things to say about that. I think it's a big deal to be able to release your emotions because whether or not you see or hear your emotions, it's still going on inside of you. And something is still stressing you. But we have to remember when we have, because we have multiple sclerosis, that stress is going to affect the way we move our mobility, and it's going to affect maybe the spasms and the way we're feeling in general. Stress is going to affect that, but your emotions are going to affect that as well. I'm going to be honest with you. I had a good old cry today. The type of crying where you just don't know why you feel so bad, but you know you have to cry because something is in you that you're grieving and mourning over, and you don't want to just keep putting it off and putting it off. You have to pay attention to how you feel. And although I needed that and I let out my emotions, I know tomorrow that most likely my body is going to feel that in some way, shape, or form. And I accept that. I accept that now. And I know that now because to be honest, I didn't used to know that at all. That, oh my gosh, I'm going to feel this tomorrow. And now I realize and recognize that whatever I go through, whether it be emotions, stress, if I'm working out really hard, much harder than I should, heat, cold, whatever I'm going through, my body is going to let me know the next day how it feels about what I did. And although it feels really good to let out your emotions, and you should, you have to recognize how your body is going to be affected. I don't think you should change letting out your emotions, but I want you to be aware of what your body might do and how it will react. Because MS is just one of those things that is very picky about how we do things. It reacts. I know mine reacts in a certain way that something might be worse. My walking will probably be worse tomorrow. My gait will be off, and I probably won't be as mobile. I'm fine with that. I'm not planning on leave. I don't think I'm planning on leaving tomorrow, and I'm fine with that. I can relax and take time. But just know that whatever happens is going to affect your body the next day, even if it's letting out your emotions. And then the next one is, or the last one is to incorporate healthy habits. And healthy habits that could come in a great many forms. One she has down here, food. I will say this about food. be careful how you react when it comes to eating your feelings, because I used to be a big one on just wanting to eat my feelings. I would love just ice cream when I felt so hurt. Ice cream I could react to all the time. You can give me a bowl of ice cream and I'll just eat my feelings. But whether or not you eat ice cream or chips or just a whole bunch of junk food or fried foods, you have to be careful with that habit that you pick up, because it will affect you. And depending on how long you keep that habit of trying to eat your feelings, it will eventually catch up to you, because it's really easy to maybe go in the refrigerator and get something to eat because you're feeling down. And the next day comes around, you don't see any effect from it. Eventually, it will catch up to you. It's like losing weight. You can lose weight or you can exercise, but you're not going to see it tomorrow, the effects of it. You have to continue to do it. So watch those habits that you will pick up. Um, Another thing about habits are really good about routine, to help you with your routine. If you take on bad habits, you have to watch the way it will affect your routine. If you pick up the habit of just wanting to sleep it off or stay in bed because you're just not feeling good about the situation or whatever you're going through, what are you missing when you stay in bed? How's it throwing your routine off? If you're someone who gets up in the morning, you're supposed to take, you know, a pill, one pill, and then a half an hour later, you're supposed to take your other pills. And then you're supposed to eat a half an hour after that. And then you're supposed to make sure that you get out on a schedule. You have a schedule. If you decide to stay in bed, even for an hour, hour and a half, you've thrown your whole morning off. It's easy to want to just close your eyes and sleep or just forget about what it is you're going through in any given day with the stress that has befallen on you. And for people who have multiple sclerosis, I think it's easy, depending on whether or not you're someone who is in the house a lot. So when COVID came around, everybody was talking about being isolated and having to be home. I could not relate to the newness of that, because that was my life anyway. Because I'm on disability, so I'm home. And every time I've gone back to the workforce, because I'm like, oh, it can't be that bad. I don't even know why I got on disability. I've gone back to workforce. It takes I think my last job I was in for, oh my gosh, I was in my last job for going on 10 years before everything caught up with me. And it was like I was fatigued all the time. I was struggling with my mobility. I knew that the symptoms were coming back, and I ended up having to go back on disability. I think I've done it 3 times, because hey, I want to be out there too. I want to work and have gainful employment and have a life and things of that nature. But when we don't have certain habits, we can let it overshadow everything else. So our routines end up completely off. You have to make sure that you incorporate healthy habits. It'll keep you in the rhythm of a routine. And when you have a rhythm of a routine, you're getting things done the way they need to be done in order for you to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So make sure that when you are overwhelmed and your day or your week or your month is becoming more stressed than you would like, take into consideration these things that you should do. One, turn off the noise, turn off the television, the radio. Um, to listen to your body and your mind, allow yourself to slow down. Three, journal and write down what is going on. Four, allow yourself to release your emotions. And number five is incorporate healthy habits. So I hope that you all got something out of that. Again, if you like my channel, if you're listening to me on YouTube, please go ahead and like it and subscribe. If you're watching me on our Facebook page, which is Multiple Sclerosis Month, no, it's awareness to multiple sclerosis. And I hope you all keep joining me, and I'll be on to talk to you again soon. Bye.